My mother's family is from Aguascalientes, Mexico, which is about 6 hours north of Mexico City. It's in the central mainland of the United States of Mexico. And I also have some family that's from Mexico City as well. My family is in Phoenix, Arizona. A lot of my family came here in the 1970s. And you know, my mother was the first one from her family to come to the United States, and she, you know, through her being here, she kind of opened up a lot of avenues for her family to then come here. So a lot of her sisters and brothers came to the U.S., and a lot of them, you know, worked in the fields, and they worked at you know, a lot of dairies in the Southwest. So a lot of them had a, you know, hard struggle here in the U.S. working, but for the most part, you know, they were able to provide for their families, and they were able to send a lot of money back to Mexico to actually, you know, build their houses there. So they, you know, they set up a really good lifestyle for themselves and their you know, their family that they've created while being here in the U.S. You know, I have roots, you know, on this side of the border and on the Mexico side of the border, so that kind of keeps me kind of grounded on both sides. Let's say I currently live in New York City, and I've been here for about 10 years. Altogether in the United States, I've been here about maybe 33 years, practically all my life. I came to the U.S. at about the age of 3 or 4 years old from Mexico City, where I was born. And I've been educated here. I've gone through school, universities, but yet I still haven't had the right to vote because I'm not a U.S. citizen. If I could vote in this country, I would. I don't even vote anywhere. I have a Mexican passport, and I guess with that I have a right, you know, to vote in Mexico, but I actually don't participate in those votes as well. You know, this year in the United States has become really interesting in terms of the political primaries, and you know, the fact that under Bush we lived under a solid regime of warfare, and a lot of money going towards missile defense, less money going towards education, and a lot of the things that, you know, communities need, infrastructure, jobs, etc. So, you know, Barack Obama seems to have the pulse on the button in terms of, you know, being family-oriented, coming back to this idea that, you know, we should not be in a global war like we are now. So I think, you know, the bottom line is I would vote for Barack Obama because he seems to be the most prolific candidate, and one that doesn't really have a history of being, you know, a warmonger or some kind of war hawk. Yeah, I think, you know, seeing what happened in 2000 with a lot of uncounted votes in the state of Florida, and, you know, always kind of hearing things about, you know, votes not being counted here in the U.S., I'm speaking of. I mean, I would say that I'm not sure if my vote would value or would count if I had a chance to vote. I would say that what's most important is just to be a political agent in some way or another. I think there's other ways to be involved with politics outside of voting, and you know, that's one of the things that I've always kind of kept in mind, is that, you know, I can be a political agent, be a part of, you know, what's happening here locally, but, you know, getting involved outside of the voting genre, because, you know, like I said before, you may cast a vote, but it may not count ultimately. But, I mean, that's all kind of inside political maneuvering that happens.